Coming up, the pandemic is not over as COVID case numbers continue to increase.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Highly contagious subvariants of the COVID-19 Omicron wave are causing case numbers to increase across the nation, including here in Kentucky. While these subvariants are many times less severe, the CDC still recommends those living in high transmission areas to wear a mask while indoors and in public. 37 counties in the Commonwealth are in this red zone, meaning masking for some could be on its way back. WYMT's Keaton Hall has more.
Over the past 6 weeks, COVID cases in the Commonwealth have been increasing by around 10 to 20% each week. And Public Health Director Scott Lockard does not see numbers dropping anytime soon.
For now, the trend's continuing, and we expect it to continue until the data shows us something otherwise.
37 counties in the Commonwealth are red, which means they have high levels of transmission. The CDC recommends masking indoors if you live in one of these counties, and businesses are taking notice, including the Georgetown Toyota plant, requiring all workers to mask up.
And if Toyota's going back to masking, that should be a harbinger of things to come for other businesses.
Lockard says more contagious subvariants of Omicron are fueling the increase in cases.
Each year we have, strain-specific flu vaccinations, and that may be what we're going to move to with COVID as the virus mutates more.
And with many kids headed back to school in a few weeks,
we're only 4 or 5 weeks away from school starting back, so we're going to start having a lot of mass gatherings again, so our schools are going to have to look at that. And of course, from a public health perspective, masking when they can is a good practice.
Lockard says if you live in Eastern Kentucky, it's probably time to start masking in public again. In Hazard, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Lockard also says the usual 5-day quarantine time is not enough. He recommends 10 days since a recent study showed 25% of COVID patients were still transmitting the virus after 9 days.
Plenty of beautiful sunshine as we went through the daytime hours today. We've stayed calm this evening, though that could change as we head into the day tomorrow. Outside right now, well, the calm conditions continue. London Corbin Airport sits at 73 at this late hour. Currently, all is quiet. Same thing in downtown Whitesburg. The street lights on there downtown. 71 they sit at this moment. 70, by the way, that dew point. Most of us were able to avoid any showers today, so the fog not nearly as big of a concern as it was last night. Middle and upper, or low to mid 70s, I should say, around the region at this hour. 65 Clintwood, our cool spot at the moment. Satellite and radar, we had a few clouds try to sneak into the northern and parts of the region, but for the most part, we're in good shape as we head through the rest of tonight. So keep that WYMT weather app handy. You'll see it, you'll open it up, you'll see our forecast. Middle and upper 60s overnight, mostly clear as well. We'll have the latest, though, on whether showers and storms could return and if they could be on the strong side coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. It's now been more than 1 week since 3 police officers and a police canine died in an ambush in Floyd County. A grand jury indicted Lance Stewart today on 20 charges, from assault to wanton endangerment and murder. Floyd County Commonwealth's Attorney Brent Turner says his office is considering the death penalty. Floyd County Attorney Keith Bartley, a witness to the shootings, was also in the courtroom today.
I don't know how you say to somebody, let's begin the healing process. I don't have the magic words. If I had the magic words, I would have used them all week.
Stewart is set to appear in front of a circuit court judge tomorrow morning. Honoring Canine Officer Drago. That was the goal for Floyd County businesses Lou's Place for Pets and the Shirt Gallery. They decided to partner by making a shirt honoring the dog and give the proceeds to the Floyd County Sheriff's Department. Then it turned into an overflow of support. They have sold more than 1,000 t-shirts, some to other states and countries. Lose Place for Pets owner Sheena Maynard says they were not expecting so much support.
When we hit 500, we were over the moon. And then we hit 1,000, we were kind of like over our heads in deep water. But it's been kind of a sigh of relief.
Maynard says they plan to continue selling shirts for another week or so. A Magoffin County boy is trying to give back to police in Floyd County. 12-year-old Colton Reisner is selling Back the Blue bracelets. He set up a stand next to the marathon just off the Mountain Parkway. Colton says the money will go to the families of the officers killed in Floyd County. In just one day, he's raised $850, but he hopes to raise $1,000.
I mean, it's nothing for me, it's all for the families, you know. I know they're going through a real hard time right now, losing sons, fathers, husbands, you know, and it's got to be rough for them.
Colton plans to sell the bracelets throughout the week. If you are not in Magoffin County, he says he'll also mail the bracelets out. A Scott County man will spend the next 45 years in prison for killing his ex-girlfriend. A judge handed down the sentence to Joseph Hicks this morning. Hicks pleaded guilty to killing Sheena Baxter last month. She died in February 2020. Hicks hid her body in a storage unit in Madison County. Police found her body several days after she was reported missing. Prosecutors say this was a particularly disturbing crime.
All murder is horrific. This one was particularly horrific. He abused her body when it was over. It was things that no family should have to think about or hear about.
The sentence was 25 years for murder and 20 years for robbery. He has also been charged with tampering with physical evidence and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. Dalton's Law, or House Bill 215, is going to take effect on Thursday in Kentucky. It will require people convicted of trafficking fentanyl to serve harsher sentences. Julia Sandor has more on the effects the bill could have here in Kentucky.
Fentanyl is the leading cause of overdose deaths in Kentucky. Kentucky's Office of Drug Control Policy filed a report last month showing that more than 2,200 Kentuckians died from an overdose just last year. Jonathan Gay with Addiction Recovery Care says that the drug is a big danger to not only the state, but the whole country.
All we know for certain is that people, completely innocent people who don't even want to take fentanyl, are accidentally taking fentanyl and dying from it.
He says he's seen an increase of patients entering recovery centers with a fentanyl addiction. Now, Dalton's Law will require people convicted of trafficking fentanyl to serve at least 85% of their sentence. And Gay hopes that this will deter people from selling these harmful drugs.
Dalton's Law is aimed at traffickers and importers. It's not aimed at the everyday user. So these are people who set out to intentionally bring this poison into Kentucky and then to traffic it.
Fentanyl was involved in over 70% of overdose deaths in Kentucky. He says this law is a step forward, but it's important to get treatment before an addiction gets too far.
To me, the key is getting people early treatment. Unfortunately, we have a system in Kentucky and in America where we allow people to use drugs for quite a while until we step in and say that you've gone too far. And unfortunately, for the man and woman on the street who are starting down that path, it's not easy to stop.
It's Julia Sandor reporting. As of right now, there will be a rally at the state capitol for Kentucky Fentanyl Prevention and Awareness Day on August 21st. Dalton's Law will also make importing fentanyl or fentanyl derivatives a Class C felony. It will also make offenders ineligible for pretrial diversion programs in those cases. The Boyd County Sheriff's Office says a NetCare ambulance rolled in a single-car accident along US 23 near the Lawrence County line around 2 a.m. Saturday. Patrick Todd Jarrell was behind the wheel while a patient and caregiver were riding in the back. However, no one got hurt. According to the citation, Jarrell told deputies he took several sleeping pills about 4 hours before being dispatched to take a transport run. The documents also say he tried to refuse taking the transport call because he didn't believe he should be driving, but he says he was told by a dispatcher he had to. Nearly 2 years after receiving government assistance through an unemployment insurance fund, one woman is being told she has to pay it all back. Kelsey Soto has more on ongoing issues with the Kentucky unemployment system that are continuing to plague residents and what the state auditor has to say in a recently released report.
Wish I had never bothered with it, sucked it up, let my gas bill go, my water bill go, electric bill go, whatever, and get behind on everything, rather than have to deal with this.
Mitzi Carroll, like so many others, was furloughed from her part-time job during the pandemic. For the first time in her life, she filed for unemployment and pandemic relief benefits.
I feel like I'm being scammed. I feel like that I don't have a voice to say, I need your help, because I've tried.
Now, 2 years later, she's being told to pay it all back, nearly $9,000. In a letter sent to her home, it claims she's ineligible and was overpaid.
Now that's sad, that I'm paying back money that I would have drawn had I been able to work. I don't understand. I would like an explanation other than, I'm sorry, you owe the money back.
There's still plenty of things that have to be worked on.
Mike Harmon, Kentucky State Auditor, released a report at the end of June after evaluating the Office of Unemployment Insurance and found 12 findings regarding deficiencies and noncompliance. Some were repeat offenses, and one item included failure to record overpayments and notify claimants of those overpayments.
They shut down all the in-person unemployment offices when the pandemic first hit. And it's just like if you've got a 10-lane highway and you shrink it down, to one lane, well, things are going to bottleneck and things aren't going to get done. And that's what happened to a lot of people.
For Mitzi and her family, right now, appeal is the only recourse she has, and it's a fight she can't afford to lose. Kelsey Soto, WYMT Mountain News.
The Kentucky Office of Unemployment Insurance says they have approved waivers for more than 8,000 claimants so that they won't have to pay those funds back. They say that equals to more than $14 million in relief between January of 2020 and December 2021. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a piece of Cold War history could soon be gone from the UVA campus after more than a decade.
Plus, we've got plenty of sunshine in the forecast, but could we also be bringing back the potential for showers and storms as well? That full breakdown's coming up.
Everyone is welcome at the Mountain Grill Experience, July 22nd.